Hey everybody out there, this is Seto, and today for you guys, as you can see by today's playmat, if you look very carefully, you will see the Sacred Beast. Now, if you guys are wondering, just out of curiosity, where this playmat is from, this is a regional playmat back from old Yu-Gi-Oh! Back doing the Upper Deck days in the GX era. I actually won this playmat many years ago, and I've had it for many years. That's why it probably looks a little bit old and fringed, because I used this bad boy a lot back in the day because I was so proud of winning it. But today for you guys, we are going to be doing a deck profile of my Sacred Beast deck. This is a deck that I've had a lot of enjoyment and over the years of building and playing in different variations prior to Duelist Saga coming out with some support, and then amazingly last year having a structure deck, which was unexpected and awesome. But this deck is very fun. It's not a super competitive deck by any stretch of the imagination. It's a fun, competitive, competent deck, I would say. One other thing I will mention before we get into the profile, guys, if you just out of curiosity, you may have seen this token before or may not. This is I believe I won this at a Toys R Us event many years ago for entering a tournament at Toys R Us, and I actually won this token. So this is a very old token. I think they're worth a couple bucks, like 10 plus. I've seen them go. I had somebody offer me 20 one time, but I said no. I won this token. I'm keeping this token. But that's why this token's here. This is actually Raviel's token, apparently. So I've had that in this deck for years now. But let us get into this deck profile and stop going down memory lane, which I know some of you guys are like, ugh, get to the deck profile, Seto. But first off, we run two Raviel, Lord of the Phantasms, and one Raviel, Lord of the Phantasms, Shimmering Scraper. Scraper is just a nice card in combination with Raviel to run as a 1-of. I would not run it as more than 1-of. I've seen people run it as a 2-of. I don't fancy that by any stretch of the imagination. But I like Raviel as a 2-of and him as a 1-of in the deck. Raviel, I feel like, is one of the better Sacred Beast monsters. Herman is my favorite, and I feel like is the best with the new support. But I do think Raviel is either a first or second best Sacred Beast monster, and he's definitely your big beater boy that can bring out big tokens. Next, we run two Herman of Lord of Striking Thunder. Yes, I have the 10 promos, just like I had the one for Raviel. I've had these since I was a kid. But Herman, I feel like, is the best one, and in combination with his spell card that came out, which is Cerulean Skyfire, which gives you negation, which gives you protection, and is just an amazing spell card, I feel like, overall in general. It actually is probably, in my humble estimation, probably the best Sacred Beast overall. And that, I'm not just saying that because he's my favorite, but saying that he works very well in combination with Cerulean Skyfire, and just overall being a big body, big attack, big defense. I mean, what more can you ask from a card with a pretty decent effect? So that's what we run with two Herman. We also run one Uriah, Lord of Searing Flames. Uriah is decent in this deck. You even have some continuous traps that you run in the deck, guys. So, like, you have some of them. But I'll be honest with you, even though he's decent and good in this deck to some degree, he's not great. If you were to make a deck predicated on strictly going for Uriah, I think he would be a lot more powerful. But that's up to your own discretion to run that type of deck. But I like Uriah as just a 1-of in this version of the deck. I do not feel like he is more than that. Next, we run 3 Dark Summoning Beast. And I know a lot of people, I've legitly, when researching this deck over the past year, when even a couple months ago when researching it, when even playtesting, I was going back and forth with this card as a 2-of, a 1-of, and a 3-of. You have to understand that. Prior to the new support coming out, Dark Summoning Beast was the backbone of this deck. Like, hands freaking down. I know it's slow, but it was the backbone of the deck before we got the new support. That's you can look back at the old profiles and understand where I'm coming from. Now, he does work well in combination with Dark Beckoning Beast, which I will admit is a very true statement. Dark Beckoning Beast and Dark Summoning Beast work well together, but he also can be abused with certain continuous trap cards, which we run in the deck as just tech options, which I've run in the deck since the beginning, which is things like Escape from a Dark Dimension, so you can bring him back after you banish him to search him for stuff. So Saying these things, I feel like his versatility as a 3-of is okay. If he's dead, you can Allure of Darkness him away. He's something you're not going to cry about alluring away, really. I really like him as a 3-of personally. You can go between 2 and 3, I feel like. 1-of, I feel, is, if you really don't like him that much, you run him as a 1-of, but I feel 2 to 3 is the correct ratio. More playtesting will need to be done, but that's where I'm going between him. I do still find him versatile, but the new dark summoning monsters really help out a lot. Next we run 3 Dark Summoning Beast, which is really nice. This card's amazing for the deck. Though I do feel like Chaos Summoning Beast is the best one. Dark Beckoning Beast is pretty good in his own right. He can bring out Dark Summoning Beast a little bit, but I'll read you his effects. When this card is normal summon, you can add one of the secret beast monsters from your deck to your hand, which is pretty cool. Or one card that specifically lists any of those cards in the text from your deck to your hand, which pretty much makes him a Stratos-esque card. You can only use the effect of Dark Summoning Beast once per turn. During your main phase, you can normal summon one Fiend monster with 0 attack and defense in addition to your normal summon. You can only gain this effect once per turn. He's very good as a 2-of in the deck, I feel like. A 3-of, I would not go down that route, but it's not a 3-of. Oh, I'm thinking of Dark Summoning Beast. A 3-of, he's a staple 3-of in this deck is what I meant to say. My apologies. Chaos Summoning Beast is really nice. He's pretty much like a Lone Fire-esque card for the deck for bringing out your Sacred Beast monsters. In addition to that, he can also help you search out Fallen Paradise, which is amazing. I'm just going to say that. That's an amazing field spell. But the card's staple 3-of. If he gets negated, you do run some level 1-of link monsters in the extra deck, so you can at least link away him and not have to worry about him taking a lot of damage. But as a 3-of, he's a staple because he searches out Fallen Paradise and he can bring things out. Exodius, the Ultimate Forbidden Lord, is pretty much in here to help you go for level 10 Exceed plays. That's basically the reason why he's in here, if you're wondering. Some people like running him at multiples. I like him as just a 1-of because it's just nice to be able to go into some rank 10s. We also run 1 Dark Diabolos, the Lord of the Lair. This card is, I feel like, a staple in this version of the deck. Because once you tribute off some of these monsters, you can bring out Dark Diabolos easily from your deck, etc. Not from your deck, but from your graveyard or your hand, which is really cool. I like this card as a staple 1-of. It's a staple, in my opinion, in the deck as a 1-of. Next, 3 Ash Blossom and Joyous Springs. It's hand trap fodder. You may want to run different cards, different things, Infinite Impermanence if you're feeling like it. I like Ash Blossom. I want to run some hand traps in this deck because this deck is not meta, and if you face a semi-meta deck or something like that, you want to be able to negate stuff, man. Like, you don't want to have the issues. So I'm running 3 Ash Blossoms, but you can run whatever you wish. Next, we run 3 Opening of the Spirit Gate, which is really a cool card. I love the fact that it's a continuous spell, but the card's very, very good. I love the fact also that, in addition to that, some people are like running this as a 2-of. I should mention that, but I like 3-of. In addition to that, I like the fact that it's based off the GX anime, which is really cool. I actually, when I first saw this card, I thought it was fake because it looks too much like they snapshopped it from the anime, actually. But if you guys do not know what this does, when this card is activated, add 1 Uriah, Lord of Searing Flames, Harman, Lord of Striking Thunder, Raviel, or 1 monster that specifically lists any of those cards in the text from your deck to your hand. Once per turn, you can discard 1 card, special summon 1 Fiend monster with 0 attack and defense from your graveyard. Once per turn, if you control a level 10 monster, you can add 1 continuous spell card from your graveyard to your hand. You can only activate this effect once per turn. That's why I love this card, because it works with Syrian Skyfire, which is amazing. So, cards I feel like is really a staple 3-of. I like it. I like it a lot. 2 Fallen Paradise. I used to run this as a 3-of with a Terraforming when first practicing, but I find that it's not necessary as much as a 3-of anymore because of the ease of getting it out. And this is mainly due to the fact of Chaos, the Summoning Beast's ability to search them out, etc. But it's still a great card to run of. It's a staple 2-of in my opinion because of it gives you draw power for the deck, it gives you protection. The card's freaking amazing. If Konami, gives, like, my gosh, this card's just so good for this deck. I know some people still run Mom to the Bound Creator. I'm like, no, Fallen Paradise every day. Give me that draw power, man. Cerulean Skyfire, we talked about this card a little bit. This is going to give you negation with your Herman on the field, give you protection, makes Herman easier to come out. I mean, my gosh, like, the card's amazing. A staple 3 of in my estimation. Staple 2 of, excuse me, not 3 of. One Dimension, a fusion, one of the fusion cards. I like this as a 1 of. Some people like as a 2 of, 3 of. They like making turbo versions of this deck. Me personally, I like just going off the Sacred Beast and having this card to be able to go into. But I like it as a 1 of in the deck. It's pretty neat. I'm happy they came out with that card, actually. It makes going into the fusion much more easier. 3 Allure of Darkness, give me more draw power. Give me more draw power. Majority of my main deck is dark, except Ash Blossom. Why not? Next up, 1 for 1. This is to bring things out and tutor things out from your deck. I think that's pretty straightforward, especially Dark Summoning Beast. 1 Foolish Burial. You have multitude of different things you can send to graveyard. Upstart Goblin, make it a 39 card deck. Give me some draw power. Call by the Grave. Protect me against hand traps. Not Monster Reborn, I feel like. That's why you don't see in this deck. You have enough ways of bringing these bad boys out, recycling them, etc., bringing them out. So I don't feel like Monster Reborn is really necessary. If you wish to, go ahead and run it. But that's all for your spells. Onto your traps. We run 3 Awakening of the Sacred Beast. Some people like this as a 3 of. I like it as a 2 of. It's kind of like a pseudo skill drain, which is really cool. In addition to that, we do run the 1 skill drain. But this card's just a really nice card to have. I like it as a 3 of, along with the 1 skill drain. Skill drain is pretty much here because you do have big beaters, right? And worst case scenario, you just turn everything off and start beating your opponent in with your big 4,000 beaters. Why not? So skill drain's here, and if worst case scenario, you can get rid of it with Uriah, excuse me, I forgot the name for a second. We also run 1 Escape from the Dark Dimension. This helps you recycle some of your banished things. There are some cool little cheeky plays I like with this card, especially with Dark Summoning Beast and some other little things. It's a nice little tech option to run as a 1 of. It's something I'm playing around with a little bit more, I will be honest. It's a trap, I got it. It's a continuous trap, don't forget that. But it's some cool little things you can do with Allure of Darkness by banishing stuff in general, bringing it back. It's got some cool little plays. I'm not going to go into detail about all of them, but it's been used in the deck multiple times with Dark Summoning Beast back in the day, before the new support came out, and I've found ways to still utilize it with some of the newer support. But it's something that I feel like is not something you want to rely upon because of the consistency the deck already has built in with the new support. But it gives it a little bit more recovery power. So it's something you may want to play around. Maybe you really like it and you run it at multiples, but I'm just putting it out there as something I'm still trying out that's working out pretty well. Probably a 1 or 2 of, in my opinion, in the deck. On to your extra deck. Different people run different things in their extra deck, I find, like with this deck. We run the tokens, because why not? I had to run all the different tokens, which is really cool. We also run 1 Armityle the Chaos Phantom. And the new one that came out, which makes going into Armityle just a little bit more easier, which is Armityle the Chaos Phantom of Fury, which is really nice to have. And we also run the 1 Phantasm Emperor, the Emperor. I can't pronounce them at all. That's all for your fusions right there, those main ones right there, guys. But in addition to that, for your Exceed monsters, we run 1 Sky Palace Gundiva, Supernaut Dread Cannon Gustav Max, Dora the Explorer, number 18, Super Dreadnought Rail Cannon Juggernaut Libby, Link Karibo, and Relinquish Anima in case things get negated. You have these. Predaplant Verta Anaconda for the fusion. Nightmare Cerberus, Nightmare Phoenix, and Nightmare Unicorn. This is just your generic Nightmare package to take care of generic things that could happen with your deck. Blackluster Soldier, Chaos of Beginning, and Axis Code Talker, as well as just your little promo card, which I like for this deck. But I know these 2 cards make it like super expensive, but if you have them, run them. If not, hey, you got other options you can run. But I find personally you don't go into the extra deck a lot. I find that, yeah, you go into, you know, your Armityle sometimes. Sometimes you go for your Link plays. Sometimes you go for your big level 10s if you're trying to do a lot of burn damage or you're trying to pop things. It happens, right? But I find for the most part, the deck is going to focus more on the main deck, but the extra deck is something you will go into, which is the reason why I'm not running like Pot of Extravagance, etc. Because I found through playtesting, I did try it out, I will admit that, but I found through playtesting that was not necessary really in the deck, because you already had consistency with all your draw power and search power, and you still want to utilize the extra deck, so that's why I'm not running that card. But I have tried a multitude of different versions with this deck to play around with it, and I will say this is my favorite version. You can play with different ratios. Different people, I feel like, run different versions of this deck. Hopefully I explained it well enough to all of you guys, so hopefully you can use this as a template. But till next time, take care, have fun dueling, good luck dueling to all of you guys. Remember to get your game on, and I'll see you guys next time. Good luck dueling to all of you.